It's 4:12 in the morning. A phone lights up in a dark bedroom in Los Angeles. Gwen Stefani stares at the screen. She sees his name. She sees the little heart emoji. And she makes a choice that sources say will define everything that comes next. She lets it go to voicemail. What Blake said in those 47 seconds, you won't even remember saying it, but she saved every single word. Some love stories start with a chance meeting. This one might end with a voicemail that was never supposed to be heard by anyone else.
Piece by piece, he restored my faith.
Before you judge who was right and who was wrong here, you need to understand what really happened in the months leading up to that call. Because this story, it's way more complicated than anyone realizes, and it starts with two broken people who found each other at exactly the wrong time. Now here's where things start getting real complicated, because to actually understand why she didn't pick up that call, you gotta rewind and look at everything that built up to this exact moment. You gotta understand what these two people been through together, and honestly, what they put each other through too. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani were never ever supposed to happen. Like, think about it for a second. A country boy from small-town Oklahoma who grew up on dirt roads and weekend hunting trips. And then you got a rock princess from Anaheim who literally defined an entire generation of music. They came from two completely different universes. But you know what? Pain has this weird way of bringing people together when you least expect it. And back in 2015, both of them were pretty much drowning in it. Blake had just gone through his painful divorce from Miranda Lambert. We're talking 20 years of friendship here. 4 whole years of marriage. Just gone like that. The tabloids were absolutely brutal about the whole thing. They picked apart every little detail, every rumor, every possible reason why it all fell apart. And Blake was really struggling with it. Sources close to him said he wasn't eating right at all, wasn't sleeping good, was questioning literally everything he thought he knew about love and relationships. And meanwhile, Gwen was over there watching her own marriage just collapse in slow motion. 13 years with Gavin Rossdale. 3 beautiful little boys together. A whole life she genuinely thought was going to be permanent. And then came the discovery that allegedly changed everything for her. Reports started swirling about betrayal and broken trust. About the kind of hurt that makes you question your whole entire reality and everything you believed in. But here's where fate decides to step in. Or maybe it was just two really broken people finding each other at exactly the right moment, you know? The Voice. Season 9. Blake is already a coach on the show. Gwen joins up that season. And suddenly these two completely shattered souls are sitting right next to each other day after day, while cameras are capturing something nobody really expected to see. Real chemistry. Like the kind you absolutely cannot fake for television, no matter how hard you try. People honestly thought it was just a publicity stunt at first. I mean, come on, Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani together? It seemed way too random. Way too convenient for it to be real. But anyone who actually watched them interact together could totally see it. The way he looked at her with those eyes, the way she laughed at his kinda terrible jokes. Something real and genuine was definitely happening between them. And for years it actually worked out great. They became one of Hollywood's most beloved couples ever. They sang duets together. They supported each other's careers through everything. They blended their families together. Blake stepped up huge as a father figure to Gwen's 3 sons, Kingston, Zuma, and little Apollo. They built something that honestly looked completely unbreakable from the outside. So, what the heck went wrong then? That's the big question literally everyone is asking right now. Because something clearly did go wrong somewhere. Sources are claiming the cracks started showing maybe about 18 months ago. The constant pressure of 2 absolutely massive careers. All that traveling back and forth. The different priorities that just naturally come with getting older. Blake reportedly wanted to slow everything down and spend more time on his Oklahoma ranch. But Gwen allegedly wanted to keep pushing forward, keep creating new music, keep her Los Angeles lifestyle intact. But honestly, those are just the surface level reasons. The real stuff underneath, The deep stuff that actually leads to 4 a.m. voicemails and expensive lawyers and crazy settlement negotiations that goes so much deeper than anyone knows. Now, I really need to tell you about something that happened about 3 weeks before that phone call, because this one detail reportedly changes absolutely everything about how you understand what Blake said in that voicemail. Sources close to the whole situation are claiming there was this big argument, like a really big one. The kind where things get said that you just cannot unsay no matter how much you wish you could. Nobody knows exactly what words got exchanged that night, but multiple reports are suggesting it involved issues of trust. It involved questions about their future, and it involved a pretty fundamental disagreement about what their life together was even supposed to look like anymore. After that huge fight, Gwen allegedly stayed over at a friend's house for 4 whole days. 4 days of complete silence between them. 4 days of Blake reportedly calling and texting constantly with absolutely no response back. 4 days of just wondering if this was really actually the end of everything.
Then it's goodbye time.
When she finally came back home, sources say things felt totally different. Polite but real distant. Almost like two strangers who were just sharing the same living space. And that's apparently when the lawyers first got involved. Quietly at first, though. Just initial consultations. Just trying to understand what the options were. Blake found out about those lawyer meetings through some mutual friend of theirs, and according to people close to him, that news just broke something deep inside him. This wasn't just another rough patch they could work through anymore. This was real. This was actually happening for real. The weeks that came after that were apparently just pure torture for both of them. Public appearances where they smiled nice for all the cameras, while barely even speaking to each other in private. Those joint interviews where literally every single word felt completely rehearsed. A relationship that had once felt so natural and easy now felt like some kind of exhausting performance they had to keep up. And Blake, according to sources close to him, he started spiraling pretty bad. The man who had always seemed so solid and so grounded and so sure of himself, he was quietly falling apart inside. Friends reportedly started noticing some real changes in him. Less time showing up in public. Way more time alone out on his ranch. And some rumors started floating around about coping mechanisms that weren't exactly the healthiest choices.
Go ahead and check your phone like I've been checking mine.
This brings us right back to November 22nd, the night right before that voicemail got left. Sources are saying Blake was out at his Oklahoma property that evening, completely alone. His phone was full of unanswered texts he'd sent to Gwen. His mind was full of all these memories of what they used to have together. He allegedly started drinking around 9 p.m. that night, and he just didn't stop. The hours all kind of blurred together after that. Midnight came and went by. 1 in the morning passed, then 2, then 3, and somewhere around 4 a.m. in that foggy, desperate headspace of someone who felt like they were losing absolutely everything that mattered, he picked up his phone and made the call. What happened in the next 47 seconds reportedly cost him an absolute fortune, and it gave Gwen ammunition that she honestly never expected to have in her hands. Here's what sources say went down. While Blake was spiraling alone in Oklahoma, Gwen was 3 states away dealing with her own personal version of hell that same night. Sources say she spent that whole evening going through old photos of them. Wedding pictures from their beautiful ceremony, vacation memories from happier times, screenshots of sweet texts from when things were actually good between them. The kind of emotional archaeology that really only happens when you're desperately trying to decide if something is even worth saving anymore.
Remember when you said that you would change?
Her phone had been buzzing all week long with messages from Blake. Lots of apologies, explanations for his behavior, promises that things would be different, but she just wasn't reading them anymore at that point. According to friends close to her, she had already made up her mind about what she needed to do, and responding to any of those texts would only make the whole thing so much harder. So when her phone suddenly lit up at 4:12 a.m., she knew exactly who was calling. She watched that screen glow bright in all the darkness. She listened to it ring once, twice, 3 times, and then she just watched it go straight to voicemail. What she heard the very next morning allegedly changed the entire trajectory of these divorce proceedings completely. Blake's voice on that recording, according to sources who claim they've actually heard it, was barely even recognizable. Slurred words all mixed up with sobs. The raw sound of a man who had completely and totally lost control of himself. And in those 47 seconds, He reportedly said some things that his legal team absolutely never wanted documented anywhere. Apologies that basically admitted fault. Confessions about his current state of mind. Really desperate pleas that revealed just how much he had been struggling without her. Sources claim he mentioned that he still sleeps with her old t-shirt. Still can't function properly without her around. Still genuinely believed this whole mess was somehow fixable between them. Gwen sat there in her bedroom that morning and played it back 3 separate times. Each time she listened, according to people close to her, her facial expression just grew more and more complicated. There was genuine sadness there for sure. There was real sympathy for him too. But there was also something else underneath all that. This recognition that this recording actually proved exactly what she had been telling her lawyers for weeks now. She forwarded that voicemail straight to her attorney with just one line that sources say was absolutely devastating in how simple it was. This is what I wake up to now. Just 7 words that somehow captured months worth of total exhaustion. 7 words that turned a private emotional breakdown into actual legal evidence. Now here's where things get really intense. Because what went down in that lawyers' meeting on Thursday is allegedly what absolutely nobody saw coming at all. Both legal teams had gathered together in this big conference room. Expensive suits everywhere. Super serious faces all around the table. Millions and millions of dollars on the line. Your typical high-stakes divorce negotiation atmosphere, basically. But then Gwen's attorney reportedly did something pretty unexpected. As she pulled out her phone real casual, pressed play on the recording, and just let the whole room listen to Blake Shelton's 4 a.m. confession play out loud.
I don't wanna fall asleep alone.
Sources say the silence that followed after was physically uncomfortable for everyone there. Blake's attorney, a guy who's known for literally always having some kind of response ready, allegedly just sat there completely frozen for 11 whole seconds. The longest pause anyone in that entire room had ever experienced in their careers. Because here's the thing. That voicemail wasn't just embarrassing for Blake. It was reportedly serious leverage in negotiations. In divorce proceedings, someone's emotional state actually matters a lot. Their decision-making capacity matters, and a recording of someone openly admitting they can't function anymore, that they feel like they're losing their mind, that they messed everything up, that kind of thing allegedly changes settlement calculations pretty dramatically. The absolute worst part for Blake in all this? He doesn't even remember leaving that voicemail. Sources claim he woke up the next morning to 47 missed calls from his manager sitting on his phone. 47 separate calls, each one more urgent than the one before. All of them desperately trying to warn him that his 4 a.m. emotional breakdown was now officially part of the divorce proceedings. You know, love stories don't always get those happy endings we hope for. Sometimes the exact same connection that originally brings 2 people together is eventually what tears them completely apart. And sometimes the most private, painful moments of someone's life become public property in ways that nobody ever expects or wants. If this whole story made you feel something, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Are you Team Gwen or Team Blake in all this? And honestly, if you want to know what happens next in these proceedings, because sources are saying there's another pretty big bombshell coming soon, well, you know exactly what button to hit right now.